At Lake Powell, almost all the waters of the upper basin of the Colorado join. Into this vast lake flow waters of the Colorado, the Green, the White, the Yampa, the Duchesne, the Gunnison, the Dolores, and the San Juan. With almost every tributary overflowing its banks, it was inevitable that Lake Powell would rise to new heights in 1983. As usual, measurements were made at intervals to predict the runoff. A group of agencies, including the National Weather Service and the Bureau of Reclamation, has been providing accurate forecasts for years. But it didn't look like a big runoff in January 1983, when the forecast for the April to July runoff was for only 112% of normal. By March, the forecast had actually dropped to 96%. With stream flows just beginning to rise, the forecast was only up to 131% of normal. Snowmelt runoff for 1983 will actually hit about 210% of normal. To reduce spillway use, wooden plywood flashboards 4 feet high were added to the spillway gates. It was understood at the outset that the spillways would probably suffer some erosion by cavitation if they were used at high flows for long periods. Some observers reported seeing large pieces of concrete and rock hurled from the spillway. A decision was made that the spillways would be operated only to a minimum. Cavitation occurs when high-velocity flows are thrown upward by some small obstruction. This causes a partial vacuum, which produces vapor cavities in the water. These unstable cavities then collapse, sending intense shock waves against the concrete. At first, small pieces, then larger pieces of concrete are literally pounded out. After one hole has formed, a leapfrog action tends to promote the start of another, on down through the tunnel in stair-step fashion. It was realized, too, that most of the damage would probably occur at the elbow section, where the spillway levels out. A photo taken by one of the inspectors disclosed holes in the concrete lining 20 feet wide and up to 4 feet deep. Cavitation had quickly left its mark. But it was no time to relax, for Lake Powell was rising rapidly, with inflows of about 120,000 cubic feet per second. The result was the most spectacular water display ever seen on the Colorado River. 2,000 tons of water per second roaring from the spillways and outlet tubes.